Hello, Pewter people. Scott Reynolds here with another Pewter Pulse. The Bucs came out on top in their preseason opener with the 17-14 win over the Bengals in Cincinnati. There were a lot of players that really shined for Todd Bowles and company on Saturday night. Running backs Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker, and offensive lineman Graham Barton and Luke Haggard, a backup guard, and safety Kayvon Merriweather, inside linebacker J.J. Russell, and cornerback Keenan Isaac on the defensive side. But there were some players who really need to step up in Jacksonville this week after not having a great preseason debut. And they'll have to step up in the joint practices against the Jaguars, as well as next Saturday's game. I'll let you know who in just a minute. But first, a reminder to hit the subscribe button on our Pewter Report TV YouTube channel as we're approaching 15,000 subscribers. It's free. Also, hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment. And consider becoming a channel member for some cool perks. Click the join button on the front page of Pewter Report TV for more information, or click the link in the description below. Now on to the Pewter Pulse. I'm going to focus on three guys on offense, three guys on defense, and one on special teams. Let's start on offense. Veteran newcomer Sterling Shepard, the wide receiver, didn't even play on Saturday in Cincinnati, but he's a guy that needs to step up. He's got to get healthy first. He's dealing with a rib injury that he sustained from a big hit in practice from Kayvon Merriweather over a week ago. But the problem for Shepard is that the wide receiver position, it just may be the deepest position on this team. We know that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin will be the starters, with Jalen McMillan and Trey Palmer vying for that number 3 receiver spot. That's 4. And the team will likely keep 6 receivers. Cody Thompson and Ryan Miller impressed against the Bengals. And don't forget about Cameron Johnson, who's been dealing with a rib injury. He missed the game on Saturday, but he's been super impressive in camp before he got hurt. And he did get cleared to return to practice on Monday, so there's a chance maybe he practices against the Jaguars and maybe plays in the game. If not, he should see action against the Dolphins. Sterling Shepard is not a lock to make this team, but the competition is far from over. Again, he has to get healthy. Now, another guy in offense that I want to talk about is right tackle Brandon Walton. He also plays some left tackle and some guard. He shined as a run blocker against the Bengals, but needs to improve and rebound in pass protection. Otherwise, I thought the first and second team offensive line really shined against the Bengals. And keep an eye on backup right guard Luke Haggard. He really played well. So Brandon Walton needs to step up in pass protection against the Jaguars. The last guy in offense is Kyle Trask. I thought Trask played okay in Cincinnati. I'm not hating on Kyle Trask, you Traskaholics. He had command of the offense and was a bit more daring, and he pushed the ball down the field more than he does in practice. That was good to see. But he needs to show that same aggressiveness in the red zone and show that he can throw some touchdowns. Trask has appeared now in 10 preseason games and has thrown just 3 touchdowns with 5 interceptions over the last 4 years. He's got to make more plays. Now let's talk about the guys on defense. Marquise Watts, outside linebacker, did okay setting the edge and playing the run, which he needed to show the coaches he could do at just 6 foot, 250 pounds. But his calling card is rushing the passer. That's what he does best. And it didn't show against the Bengals. Jose Ramirez, who's another outside linebacker, had a great showing in the preseason opener, and he's neck and neck with Marquise Watts right now for probably the same roster spot. Second-year cornerback Josh Hayes needs to play better on defense. His roster spot seems secure due to the fact that he's one of the best gunners in the league. So he'll make it on special teams. But Hayes wants to show he's more than just a special teams star like former Bucs cornerback Ryan Smith was for the Bucs back in the day. Hayes slipped and gave up a touchdown in coverage to T. Higgins on the first drive and needs to rebound as a cornerback. Just for clarification, he was not the Bucs cornerback getting torched by Jermaine Burton at the end of the game. That was Andrew Hayes, no relation. And Andrew Hayes is not going to be making the team. The final name I have for you on defense is another guy that didn't play in the game in Cincinnati. That's inside linebacker Servassier Dennis. Now, he's not in danger of getting cut, but he is in jeopardy of sliding down the depth chart because J.J. Russell's off to another great start in the preseason. Remember, Russell, the inside linebacker, led the Bucs in tackles last preseason and also had an interception. He showed up well again and led the team in tackles against the Bengals. Dennis missed the final 2 preseason games last year due to a hamstring injury, and now he's already missed one this year with another injury. Plus, he missed his second chance to start last year in the regular season game against the Panthers because he got sick. Get well soon, Servassier. And finally, punter Jake Camarda underwhelmed against the Bengals. He averaged just 42.8 yards on 4 punts with 1 touchback and none down to inside the 20. That cost him to have a woeful 34.3-yard net average. Now, to help get Camarda's attention, the Bucs signed another punter, Nolan Cooney, on Monday. This situation is worth keeping an eye on as the preseason continues. Now, Shepard and Dennis remained out of action during Monday's practice, so that leaves their participation in these joint practices and Saturday's game in Jacksonville up in the air. We'll see if the other Bucs I mentioned can turn their preseason around in just a few days. And in just a few days, we'll be hitting 15,000 subscribers on Pewter Report TV. That's our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Also, hit the thumbs up button. Leave us a comment. That helps our YouTube algorithm, helps us get in front of more awesome Bucs fans like yourself. And make sure to follow us on social media, X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report, and pewterreport.com, where we've got all of the training camp and preseason news that you'll need on your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'll be back soon with a new Pewter Pulse.